They reported me to the HOA every week, so I became the HOA president and made their life hell. I bought my house in Riverside Estates 6 years ago. It was a peaceful neighborhood. HOA fees were cheap, just $60 a month, and the rules were simple. Mow your lawn, hide your trash bins, keep things tidy. Then the Kowalskis moved in. Dennis and Margaret, both retired, both in their mid-60s, and both apparently completely dedicated to monitoring the neighborhood like it was their full-time job. 3 weeks after they moved in, I got my first HOA complaint. My trash bins were visible from the street on trash day. A warning letter arrived anyway. A week later, another complaint. Supposedly my lawn was too long. HOA rules said a max of 3 inches. Mine was 2.8. I measured it. Someone was lying. Next week, a complaint that my car was parked overnight on the street. It wasn't even my car. A friend had visited and parked there, and it didn't stop. 11 complaints in 3 months. Everyone fake, everyone from the same binocular holding porch patrol. One morning at 6 a.m., I looked outside. There was Dennis, standing on his porch with binoculars, writing things down. That's when I knew. I went to the next HOA meeting. The president, Jim Barker, had been running things for 8 years and acted like a king. When I explained the situation, he shrugged. Complaints are anonymous, he said. We have to investigate each one. I filed a harassment complaint against the Kowalskis with photos and documentation. Jim dismissed it without hesitation. I learned I wasn't the only target. Carlos, 2 houses down, said they'd reported him 6 times. Diane said they reported her over a July wreath that wasn't even against any rule. I talked to my lawyer. He said HOAs were tricky and lawsuits cost at least $10,000. I didn't have that, but I had time and anger, so I got involved. I attended every HOA meeting. I read all 48 pages of bylaws. And guess what? Jim himself was breaking several rules. He'd been president 2 years longer than allowed. He approved expenses without board votes. I documented everything. At the next meeting, I stood up and said, per bylaws, I call for a vote of no confidence. Jim tried to shut me down, but I had signatures from 25 homeowners. Enough to force a vote. Jim lost. Badly. Elections were set for the next month. I ran. I campaigned. I knocked on doors and promised to make the HOA reasonable again. On election night, I won with 39 out of 47 votes. And the first thing I did as HOA president, I reviewed the complaint history. 52 complaints came from the same IP address, the Kowalskis. I changed the system. No more anonymous complaints. Every complaint now required name and address. Then I did a neighborhood-wide inspection. Standard procedure for a new president. The Kowalskis had 7 violations. Things they clearly never cared about when they were busy reporting everyone else. Rusted mailbox, dandelions, trash bins visible, faded paint, cracked driveway, detached gutter, and a garden gnome that required HOA approval. I sent them a letter. 30 days to fix everything or face $50 per week fines per violation. Dennis showed up furious, shouting that it was retaliation. I calmly explained, I inspected every house. These are your violations. Fix them. They fixed only 3 items. The rest? Ignored. So I fined them $200. The next week, another $200. And again, after 6 weeks and wanting $200 in fines, they finally repaired the driveway, repainted the house, removed the gnome, and cleaned up the weeds. The Kowalskis stay quiet. For more crazy HOA revenge stories, hit like and subscribe.